A radio signal, weak and fragmented, traveling through the endless void of space, finally reaches Earth. At first, it seems like nothing more than cosmic noise, just another burst of meaningless static, lost in the eternal background hum of the universe. But then, something strange happens. A pattern emerges. Rhythmic, intentional. A sequence of prime numbers, followed by a strange pulse pattern that repeats in a way eerily similar to our own radio transmissions. A message is hidden within the distortion. For decades, astronomers have scanned the skies, searching for anything that might prove we are not alone. Countless signals have been intercepted, only to be dismissed as natural phenomena. Pulsars, quasars, fast radio bursts, cosmic beacons that mimic intelligence but ultimately have no mind behind them. But this is different. It isn't random. It isn't a natural occurrence. It's deliberate. Across the globe, radio, telescopes lock onto the strange transmission, recording and analyzing every fragment. The signal is old, hundreds, possibly even thousands of years in transit before it finally reached us. But the implications are immediate. For the first time in human history, we are faced with a direct communication from an unknown civilization. A civilization that isn't simply reaching out to say hello, they're pleading for help. The realization spreads like wildfire through the scientific community. A signal this old means that whatever catastrophe they faced has long since played out. Their star system may be nothing more than ruins now, a silent graveyard orbiting a dead sun. But what if they survived? What if, even now, they're waiting? For an answer, the world faces a question unlike any before. Should we respond? And if we do, what should we say? Every great journey starts with a few brave explorers. Right now, HFY Chronicles-849 is just beginning, and your support means everything. If you enjoy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us grow this community together. As the signal is examined in greater detail, an even more chilling discovery is made. The message is more than just a distress call. Embedded in the transmission are mathematical equations beyond our current understanding, evidence of an intelligence far superior to our own. But hidden within the repeating sequences is something else, a simple, universal image. A star. Not just any star, but a dying one. Astrophysicists compare the data to known celestial objects, and their conclusion is as startling as it is tragic. The alien homeworld orbits a red giant nearing the final stages of collapse. It's undergoing rapid destabilization, its outer layers expanding outward in violent bursts of radiation and heat. If our calculations are correct, this process could have destroyed their civilization long before their signal even reached us. Yet, if they could predict their own extinction, could they also have developed a means to survive? But that raises another question. Why send the message so far? Why Earth? As world leaders convene in emergency meetings, debating the risks and ethics of responding, astronomers make yet another shocking discovery. The signal wasn't sent in one direction. It wasn't meant for us alone. By analyzing faint echoes of the transmission bouncing off interstellar objects, researchers realized that this distress call was part of a massive, interstellar broadcast. It wasn't aimed at any specific civilization. It was a desperate scream into the void, sent in all directions, to anyone who could hear it. And then, something happens that no one expected. The discovery shatters everything we thought we knew. For centuries, humanity has gazed at the stars, wondering if we were alone. Now, there is no more wondering. The evidence is clear. An advanced extraterrestrial civilization once existed, intelligent enough to communicate across the void of space. And not only that, they were in peril. They saw their doom approaching, and did the only thing they could. They reached out. But now, a terrifying realization sets in. If this civilization was advanced enough to predict their demise, why couldn't they stop it? Why was their only option to send a desperate signal into the cosmos, hoping that someone, anyone, might hear them centuries later? The world's greatest minds are thrown into chaos, racing to unravel the mystery. Supercomputers process the signal at unprecedented speeds, breaking down every fragment of data. Linguists, mathematicians, astrophysicists all work around the clock, each discovery leading to more questions than answers. What they uncover sends shockwaves through the scientific community. Buried within the transmission, beyond the distress signal and the star map, is something else. Something eerie. A secondary message, encoded deeper within the data stream. This one is different. It's not a distress call, it's a warning. The message speaks of destruction, not just of their planet, but of something far greater. It describes an event so catastrophic, so all-consuming, that their entire species was forced to reach out in blind desperation. The details are fragmented, lost in the distortion of time and space, but one thing is certain. Their doom was not natural. It was not just their dying sun that sealed their fate. Something else was involved. The implications send chills down the spines of those decoding the message. Could it be an external threat? A war? A cosmic disaster beyond our comprehension? Or something far more sinister? The possibility that some unknown force, something capable of wiping out an entire advanced civilization, still lurks in the depths of space, is too horrifying to ignore. Governments scramble to classify the information, but it's too late. The truth has already leaked. Across the world, the news spreads like wildfire. Aliens existed. They were in danger. And they sent a warning that humanity is only now beginning to understand. Panic grips the public. Speculation runs rampant. Some fear that the message was never meant for us, that we were never supposed to hear it, that by listening, we have now drawn attention to ourselves. But even amidst the fear, there is hope. What if, despite everything, some of them survived? What if the remnants of their civilization are still out there, waiting, watching, hoping for an answer? The thought ignites a fire in humanity. Scientists push forward with renewed determination. If these beings were capable of interstellar communication, perhaps they found a way to escape. And if they did, then maybe, just maybe, they are waiting for a reply. The world stands at a crossroads. Do we answer? Do we risk revealing ourselves to whatever fate befell them? Or do we ignore the call, leaving their desperate plea unanswered, condemning their memory to the silence of space? But before the world can decide, something happens that changes everything. The signal changes. A new transmission arrives. One that no one was expecting. It is not ancient. It is not weak. It is clear, strong, and recent. Something, or someone, is still out there. The new signal sends the world into an absolute frenzy. Unlike the first transmission, which traveled through the void for centuries, this one is fresh, mere days, maybe weeks old. It originates from the same region of space, the same doomed star system. But there's a crucial difference. The distress call had been weak, fragmented, barely clinging to existence after its long journey through the cosmos. This one, however, this one is strong, powerful. It is being sent now. Who, or what, is still out there? Astronomers reorient their telescopes, locking onto the new transmission. Data floods in. More complex, more urgent than before. It follows the same structured patterns of the first message. But this time, there's something different. It's not just numbers, equations, or warnings. It's language, not a human language, but an intricate, structured form of communication far beyond anything we've seen. Patterns emerge. Syntax, grammar, even something that resembles punctuation. It's sophisticated. It's intelligent. And most importantly, it's a response. Somewhere, against all odds, someone, or something, survived. Within hours, the greatest minds on the planet begin working to decode the message. AI supercomputers, quantum processors, linguistic algorithms, every tool at humanity's disposal is thrown into the effort. And then, they start to understand. The message contains three primary elements. First, it identifies itself. It's not a distress call, not anymore. It's a beacon, deliberately sent to ensure someone, anyone, knows what happened. The sender refers to themselves as a fragment, a remnant of a once great civilization, a survivor. But they are not alone. The message implies that others, perhaps many others, exist in scattered pockets across the stars. They endured, but at a terrible cost. Second, it reveals what happened. Humanity had assumed their sun was the cause of their downfall, that their star had betrayed them, expanding into a merciless inferno that consumed everything. But the truth is far worse. The disaster wasn't natural, it wasn't inevitable, it was caused. The message doesn't specify by whom or by what, only that their people had tried to stop it, and failed. The destruction of their home wasn't just the result of an aging sun, but the final consequence of a war so vast, so utterly devastating, that their only hope was to escape. And even now the remnants of their kind continue to flee, running from a force that, according to their message, still exists, still hunts, still destroys. The third part of the message is the most chilling of all. They are reaching out to warn us. Their ancient distress signal was never meant for us alone. It was a desperate cry to anyone who might listen. But this new transmission? This is different. This is personal. They know we heard them. They know we exist, and they are begging us. Do not make the same mistake we did. Do not draw their attention. Do not let them find you. The weight of those words hangs over humanity like a storm cloud. For the first time in history, we stand on the precipice of a decision that could alter the fate of our entire species. Do we stay silent, hiding in the cosmic shadows, hoping that whatever annihilated them never turns its gaze upon us? Or do we respond? Do we reach out, offering help, forging an alliance that could change the course of history? It's a debate that shakes the foundations of science, politics, and philosophy. Some argue that we cannot ignore their plea, that we owe it to them and to ourselves to establish contact, to stand together against whatever threat lurks in the void. Others insist that to answer is suicide, that if we respond, we are painting a massive, glowing target on our backs. And then, before humanity can even make a choice, the transmissions stop. Silence. Total. Absolute. As if, in an instant, whoever was out there is gone. But what if they didn't go silent by choice? What if something found them first? The silence is deafening. For days, global space agencies and private observatories monitor the source of the transmission, scanning the coordinates with every tool at humanity's disposal. But there's nothing. No response. No weak signal. No whisper in the cosmic void. Just an unbroken infinite expanse of nothingness. And that's what terrifies everyone the most. It doesn't make sense. The signal had been strong, consistent. Whoever sent it was deliberate, urgent. Their survival depended on it. So why would they stop now? The unsettling possibility looms over every discussion. They didn't stop. They were stopped. If that's true, then something or someone has just silenced the last known survivor of an alien civilization. A chilling thought takes root. What if their warning came too late? Behind closed doors, governments hold emergency meetings. Intelligence agencies, military strategists, and top scientists gather in secret, debating the unthinkable. Has humanity already revealed itself? Has our detection of the message, our frantic decoding efforts, been noticed? Is something watching us now? The world holds its breath. And then, something changes. It starts as a subtle anomaly. Deep space, telescopes, monitoring distant stars, begin detecting fluctuations, tiny shifts in light, distortions that seem artificial, the kind of distortions caused by something moving between us and them. At first, the anomalies seem random. Then patterns emerge. The shifts aren't just happening anywhere. They're appearing along the same trajectory as the original transmission. Something is traveling through space, and it's getting closer. The realization spreads through scientific communities like wildfire. Could it be the survivors coming to us? Is it a ship, a probe, or, worse, a pursuer? The very thing they warned us about? The implications are staggering. If something is moving toward us, then we are no longer just observers. We are participants. For the first time in history, humanity must prepare for first contact, except this is no longer on our terms. Panic spreads across the world. Public speculation runs wild. Conspiracy theories flood the internet. Some people celebrate, believing that this is the beginning of a new era. Others fear it could be the end. In the midst of the chaos, global space agencies make a decision. They need to send a message. Not a response, not yet, but a test. A way to determine whether this incoming anomaly is intelligent or just an interstellar coincidence. The world's largest radio telescopes are reoriented. The message is crafted carefully. Simple, universal, something that any advanced intelligence would recognize. A mathematical pattern, prime numbers, the Fibonacci sequence, signals that are unmistakably artificial. The transmission is sent, the waiting begins. For hours, nothing happens. Then, a reply. Not a distress call. Not a greeting. A single signal. A pulse. Then another and another. The pattern repeats. Slow, steady, deliberate. It's counting. The realization hits like a thunderbolt. It knows we're here, and now we have to decide. Do we acknowledge it? Do we send another response? Or do we shut down everything, hoping, praying, that if we stay silent, it will simply pass us by? There is no consensus. But the universe doesn't wait for humanity to make up its mind. Because just as the debate rages on, as world leaders argue and scientists plead for caution, a second signal arrives. This time, it doesn't come from the anomaly. It comes from somewhere else entirely, from deep within our own solar system. And it is nothing like the first. The world is paralyzed. A second signal. But this one is different. It doesn't come from the distant stars. It doesn't originate from the doomed civilization that sent the first distress call, nor from the approaching anomaly that seemed to respond. No. It comes from inside our own solar system. Panic spreads faster than light. How is that possible? Humanity has scanned and mapped every planet, every moon, every asteroid belt. We've sent probes, rovers, orbiters. We know what's out there. Or at least, we thought we did. Yet, there it is. A transmission, undeniably artificial, pinging from a location humanity had never considered a threat. Not from Mars. Not from Europa. Not even from the mysterious depths of the Oort cloud. The signal originates from the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy bodies beyond Neptune, where only a handful of human probes have ever ventured. A place we assumed was nothing more than a graveyard of frozen debris, ancient rocks drifting endlessly through space, until now. Within hours, every deep space observatory on Earth focuses its instruments on the coordinates. And then, something impossible happens. We see it. At first, it looks like just another Kuiper Belt object, an asteroid, maybe even a dwarf planet. But then, the light shifts. The infrared readings change. The object isn't just sitting there. It's moving, not drifting, not tumbling, adjusting. No natural object does that. Humanity isn't just looking at a rock in space. We are looking at a ship. For the first time in history, an artificial structure, not made by human hands, has been detected within our own solar system. And it's been here all along, but the real horror hasn't set in yet. Not until the data is analyzed. Not until scientists realize the ship isn't approaching us. It's not coming from deep space toward Earth. No, it's leaving. The trajectory is clear. The vessel was already inside the solar system, hidden, silent, motionless, until our signal went out. And now, it's accelerating, leaving the Kuiper Belt, heading straight for the incoming anomaly, like a moth drawn to a flame, or, perhaps, like something answering a call. The implications shatter every assumption humanity ever held. This ship, whatever it is, was here before we ever sent a response, before we ever heard the first distress call. It had been waiting, watching, hidden in the cold, dark void beyond the planets. But waiting for what? For us to detect the signal? For something to find us? Or worse? Had it always known we were here? Theories erupt. Some believe it's another remnant of the lost civilization, the last survivor, hidden among the stars, waiting for a moment like this to act. A refugee, now fleeing toward what's left of its people. Others fear something much darker. What if it's not a survivor, but a sentinel, a machine, a guardian, a construct left behind not to escape, but to observe? And if it's heading toward the anomaly, then perhaps it's not running from something. Perhaps it's running to its master. Governments go silent. Military forces across the globe go on high alert. Secret meetings take place, some debating whether humanity should intervene, others wondering if we should prepare for war. But no one knows what will happen next. Because just as the hidden ship reaches deep space, the anomaly changes course. It reacts. For the first time, the moving distortion, whatever it is, doesn't just drift along its trajectory. It shifts, and now it's coming straight for Earth. A chill runs through the world. For weeks, scientists, world leaders, and military strategists have been racing to interpret the meaning of the alien transmissions. The distress signal from a dying civilization. The cryptic pulses from the approaching anomaly. The discovery of a hidden ship in the Kuiper Belt. But now, nothing else matters, because the anomaly, whatever it is, has changed course. It's no longer moving along a distant trajectory, no longer drifting past us on some unknown journey. It is coming for Earth. The reaction is instant. Across the globe, chaos erupts. Governments scramble, military forces brace, and every major space agency turns its full attention toward the incoming entity. Theories flood the airwaves. Scientists warn against making assumptions, but fear spreads like wildfire. Because here's the terrifying truth. We still don't know what this thing is. It has no clear structure, no solid form. The distortions we've been tracking appear as gravitational lensing, bending light, shifting space itself. It is massive, but seemingly invisible, a ghost moving through the cosmos, and now it is accelerating. At first, its movement was slow, deliberate, like a predator stalking its prey. But once the hidden ship in the Kuiper Belt activated, the anomaly responded. And when that ship launched toward it, the anomaly didn't just react, it turned, its full attention toward Earth. It knows we're here. But how? Did we reveal ourselves by responding to the distress signal? Was it watching all along, lurking beyond the stars? Or did something tell it we were here? The implications are horrifying. And then, the Kuiper Belt ship does something unexpected. Instead of fleeing, instead of escaping the solar system, it stops. Right at the edge of interstellar space, just beyond Pluto's orbit, it halts its acceleration and goes dark. Silent, motionless once again. It's waiting. For what? For us to act? For the anomaly to arrive? Or for something worse? Panic grips the scientific community. Messages are sent between world governments, secret organizations, intelligence agencies. Some argue that we must attempt communication. One last desperate effort to understand what's happening before it's too late. Others say it's already too late. The military prepares for the worst. Defense satellites are repositioned. Weapons, capable of targeting deep space, are armed. Contingency plans, ones the public will never know about, are put into motion. And still, no answers, just a deafening silence from the void. Then, something changes. A new transmission arrives. But this time it doesn't come from deep space. It doesn't come from the Kuiper Belt. It comes from the moon. Every major radio observatory receives it at the same time. A pulsing artificial signal, unlike the others, unlike anything we've detected before. But there's one detail that makes the blood drain from every scientist's face. The signal isn't alien. It's human. Or rather, it's broadcasting in perfect human language. The voice is distorted, fragmented, layered with an eerie artificial quality. But the words are unmistakable. A warning. 3 sentences. They have heard you. They are coming. You must not answer again. The message repeats 3 times. And then, silence. The world holds its breath. How is this possible? The moon has no active broadcasting systems capable of sending a signal like this. There are no human bases, no hidden facilities that could transmit such a message. So where is it coming from? For days, every agency on Earth tries to trace the source. Radar sweeps, satellite imagery, deep space scans. But nothing is found. No structure, no probe, no transmission device. Just the same dead surface we've always known. But the message is real. Someone, or something, sent it. And they don't want us to respond. Then, the final horror arrives. Astronomers watching the anomaly detect a change. Its motion, once erratic, now stabilizes. The gravitational distortions intensify. It is no longer just an unknown cosmic event. It is entering the solar system. And for the first time, we see it. Not with the naked eye, not with visible light, but through gravitational mapping. And what it reveals is impossible. It isn't a ship. It isn't a planet. It is something far older. Something vast. Something alive. And it is reaching for us. A presence looms at the edge of our solar system. Not a ship, not a fleet, not an asteroid or a wandering planet, but something else entirely. The anomaly is no longer an abstract distortion of space. No longer just a ripple in gravitational readings. The latest deep space scans paint a picture that defies all reason. Because the entity moving toward us is not made of metal, rock, or gas. It is a living structure, a vast cosmic organism spanning thousands of miles across. Its form is unfathomable, shifting like liquid shadow, bending light, distorting reality itself. It moves through space, not with propulsion, but with an unnatural presence, one that warps the fabric of the universe with every pulse of its existence. And it is accelerating toward Earth. Panic reaches its peak. The United Nations calls an emergency session. Military forces worldwide prepare for an extinction-level event. Scientists and philosophers clash over the meaning of what we are witnessing. Because this is not just a thing. It is aware. And worse, it has been watching us for a very long time. The hidden truth, as world leaders scramble. Astronomers uncover something horrifying. By analyzing historic data, gravitational anomalies, unexplained stellar movements, they find traces of this entity going back centuries. Moments in history, where reality itself bent in ways that shouldn't have been possible. Anomalies that were dismissed, ignored, until now, because they all point to the same conclusion. This is not the first time it has come to Earth. It has been here before. Watching, waiting, and every time, something stopped it. Something forced it away. The implications send shockwaves through the scientific community. Has humanity been protected? Is there another force at play? One that has been shielding us, keeping us hidden? Or did we simply survive by chance? Until now? Because this time, something has changed. This time, we answered the distress signal. This time, we called attention to ourselves. And now, the entity is responding. The last transmission as the anomaly draws closer. The mysterious transmission from the moon returns. But this time, it is different. The message is longer, fragmented, as if whoever, or whatever, is sending it, is struggling to break through. And the words chill the world to its core. You do not understand. It is not what you think. It does not conquer. It consumes. Your answer has made you known. They are coming. Not just one. You have one chance. You must be silent. The signal cuts out. Silence falls over Earth, and then, the Kuiper Belt ship activates. The final stand without warning, the alien vessel that had remained dormant at the edge of the system, moves. But it doesn't flee. It doesn't try to escape. Instead, it charges directly toward the approaching entity. Humanity watches in stunned silence as the ship, impossibly small compared to the incoming horror, fires something. Not a missile, not a weapon, a pulse of energy, a signal, a final message, and in that instant, everything changes. The entity reacts, a ripple tears through space. The anomaly, once an unstoppable force, stops moving. It doesn't just halt, it shudders, as if it has been struck by something beyond our comprehension, and then, without warning, it collapses inward. A violent, unnatural folding of space. Reversal, and in a final, horrifying burst of gravitational energy, it vanishes, not destroyed, not dead, but gone. The entire event lasts mere minutes, and when it is over, the Kuiper Belt ship is gone as well, leaving only a single final transmission behind, not in alien language, but in perfect human speech, and it says, "You have been given a chance. Do not waste it. Do not answer again." Then, silence. No more signals, no more transmissions, no more anomalies. And just like that, the event ends. The unanswered questions. In the weeks that follow, humanity is left to piece together what happened. Who, or what, sent the distress call in the first place? What was the Kuiper Belt ship, and why did it sacrifice itself? And most terrifying of all, was this truly over? Because even though the entity is gone, the warnings remain. Whoever sent that last message didn't say we were safe. They said we had been given a chance, meaning whatever we nearly faced is still out there, waiting, listening. And next time, there may not be anyone left to save us. But the real question is, will we be able to resist the next call for help?